I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 191, Christian Churches part 3. That's on the page 67. While doing morning searching, and if you participate in the morning searching, that's at your own risk. You already had that the Church of England, the official Church of England, is in England the Church of England, and it has a constitutional link to England, to the state. And the spiritual leader of the Church of England is the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the leader of the Church of England is the monarch, and the monarch appoints the Archbishop of Canterbury, but most of the time that is done by the Prime Minister and by bishops, by a committee of bishops. In Scotland, the official church is the Presbyterian Church, and there it is governed by ministers and elders. In Scotland, it is governed by ministers and elders. And there's a chairperson every year, not new appointed, and the person acts on also as a spokesperson for the Presbyterian Church of Scotland. And when we have also that the Church of England is known in other parts of the world as Anglican Church, and in Scotland and in the United States as Episcopal Church. So Church of England, Anglican Church and Episcopal Church are all the same. There is no established church in Wales or Northern Ireland. So in Wales or Northern Ireland there is no established church. There are certainly churches in Wales and Northern Ireland, but there's no one with a constitutional link or something like that. There's no established church, no official church. There are churches. And there's of course religious freedom. Other Protestant Christian groups in the UK are Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians and Quakers. So there are other Christian groups, other groups of Protestants. So all are Christian, all Protestants are Christian, and there are also other groups who are not Protestant who are Christian. And these groups who have some people living in the United Kingdom who have these are, for example, Baptists. So in the United Kingdom there are also living some Baptists and some Methodists and some Presbyterians and some Quakers. These are all religious groups, all religions, and they are all Protestant religions, all are Christian religions. Now, what are Presbyterians and what is the Presbyterian Church? Technically, as we did it with the other part here, maybe they mean the same. We're talking now here about other Protestant Christian groups in the UK. Maybe they don't mean now the church in Scotland or Northern Ireland or in England. Maybe the Presbyterians are the people in Scotland, because we know that the people in Scotland are only 8% of the population. Now it is possible to talk now of just these 8%, and of them only around 60% identify as religious, but we're talking about 4% of the population who are Presbyterian. So it's possible that we're talking about that in the United Kingdom 4% are Presbyterian, and that these 4% are living in Scotland and are they part or members of the Presbyterian Church. Basically the question is, are these Presbyterians the people who are going into the Presbyterian Church? And so there in the United Kingdom are different types of Protestants. There are, for example, people of the Church of England and people of the Presbyterian Church of Scotland, and there are people who are Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians. Maybe these are the people of Scotland who go into the Presbyterian Church of Scotland, and Quakers. We have no explanation to any of them, but they are all religious groups and all Christian religious-based groups. There are also other denominations. Did we have it heard once before? Because I don't really understand it. There are also other denominations of Christianity, the biggest of which is Roman Catholic. So in the United Kingdom there are more groups of Christian groups. There are also other religions like Muslim with 5%, or Hindu, Buddhists, Jewish and Sikh. But beside of these Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians and Quakers, in the United Kingdom there are also other Christian groups like the Roman Catholics. So also Roman Catholics are living in the United Kingdom. The monarch is the head of the Church of England. The spiritual leader of the Church of England is the Archbishop of Canterbury. That is here written at the side again. So the head of the Church of England is the monarch, so king or queen. And the spiritual leader of the Church of England is the Archbishop of Canterbury. And with that, we're through with Christian churches. And we're not going to do anything new. We're going to do now the whole morning stitching. If you participate in it, that is at your own risk. If you're here for patron saints days, then you can go to the next one. We're having the legs standing wide apart, and we're breathing in and coming down. And we get out. And we get in. And out. And in. And out. Again in. And out. And again in. In. And out. And one last round, breathe in. And out. Get in. Plus minutes. And out. And you're breathing all this in through the nose, deep into the chest, and out through the mouth. Legs are standing a bit more than shoulder wide apart. They're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And then breathing out and going to the side. And open the rib cage. No, don't do it. And breathe out. Now breathe in and open the rib cage. And again out. And again in. And out into the middle. Breathe again in. And out, not to the outside. And breathe in and open the rib cage. And again out. Again in. And out into the middle. And the next exercise, same setup, we're breathing in. And now out, one hand slides down the leg, and the other shoulder stays down. Now breathe in. And out, take one arm out. Breathe again in and out, rib cage. And again out. And again in. And out. And breathe in. And out, now over to the other side. And the shoulder stays down. And breathe in. And out, one arm comes out. Breathe in and out, rib cage. And again out. And again in. And out, begin to the middle. And one more exercise like this for the upper part of the body. The feet are standing together. They are breathing in and lifting the arms up. The aeronautic particle aeroplane. And the breathing out, one hand comes down. And breathe in and reach to both hands. And again out. Again in. And out, one hand comes down. Breathe in and reach. And again out, one hand again out. And another cycle, breathe in. And out, one hand comes down. Breathe in and reach. And again out. And in. And out, one hand down. Breathe in and reach. And again out. Next exercise, the legs are standing wide apart. We're breathing in. And out, and we're just hanging down. And we're only having to come deeper down by breathing deep in through the nose into the chest. And by breathing out through the mouth. And again in. And out. Again in. And out. and again in, and out over to one leg. Breathe again in, and out. Again in, and out over to the other. And breathe in, and out. Again in, and out into the middle. And breathe deep in. And out, we're coming slowly up with a round back, making it top and backwards short. Now similar, our feet are standing together, and we're breathing in. And out, we're hanging again down. And breathe in. And out. And again in. And out. And again in. And out. And again in. And now out, we're coming again slowly up with our own back and making it the top and backwards. And now for closing exercise, legs are staying wide apart, and we're breathing in and going down. And out. Again in. Out. Again in. Out. And the last round. Out. Close the legs. And out. And we're done with the morning stretching. So it was Sir Peter Mansfield who invented the MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, and Sir Tim Berners-Lee who invented on Christmas Eve the first successful transfer of the World Wide Web. Do we have a date for magnetic resonance imaging? No, we don't have one. And it were cloning, Keith Campbell, Sir Ian Wilmot, and it was in 1996. And the other thing before it, the Harrier jump budget, where we had nothing before it, except that it was developed in the UK. And when we had the IVF therapy, that was in 1978, and it were IVF, that was step down. It was a big step in IVF therapy, and it was an energetic step. And it were Sir Robert Steptoe and Robert Edwards. It were Patrick Steptoe and Sir Robert Edwards. Patrick Steptoe and Sir Robert Edwards. And with the cash dispensing ITM, that was James Goodfellow. You have to be Goodfellow like James Goodfellow to trust with your cash dispensing ITM machine. First used in Berkeley in 1967 and the swing 60s in London, East End. And when we had the Turing machine by Alan Turing, we had the Sir Robert Watson Watt for radar. The television was JLB, that was John Lodge Baird, first successful broadcast London, Glasgow. And Glasgow is in the middle of Scotland. Glasgow, that was in 1932. And when we had co-discovered insulin, that was John McLeod. When we had the structure of the DNA, that was Francis Crick. And then the jet engine, Sir Frank Whittle. And the jet engine was in the 30s, and the DNA structure in 1935. And when we had Britain and France developing the Concorde, that was a moon landing year, 1969. And the Hoovercraft, Sir Christopher Cochrane, that was in the 1950s. Hoovercraft, 1950s. I think these are actually all. Every data. And once more upon Sir Bernard Lovell, who built a Jodrell Bank in Cheshire, the world's largest radio telescope. And these are all. We had another invention, that was Alexander Fleming, the penicillin. In 1928. So that is all. Until the next part, I thank you very much, and until the next part to Patron Science Days.